Welcome to Unstoppable Mindset. There is a power many people underestimate. It is not the power of speaking, it is the power of silence. In a noisy world where everybody is trying to prove themselves, defend themselves, explain themselves, and announce themselves, silence has become rare. And because it is rare, it has become valuable. You must understand something. Every time you speak, you release energy. Words are seeds. Once spoken, they can never return to your mouth. That is why mature people do not speak carelessly. They measure words because they understand that destiny can be damaged by one emotional sentence. Some people talk too much because they think talking gives them control. But wisdom teaches the opposite. The person who controls his tongue controls his future. You do not need to attend every argument. You do not need to respond to every insult. You do not need to explain every decision. There are moments where silence protects your peace more than words ever could. One of the moments you must stay silent is when you are angry. Anger is temporary, but words spoken in anger can leave permanent scars. Many relationships were destroyed not because people hated each other, but because they spoke while emotional. When emotion rises, intelligence decreases. A person who cannot control their mouth during anger will eventually damage things they prayed to keep. Learn to walk away. Learn to breathe. Learn to become still. Silence in anger is not weakness. It is discipline. Anybody can shout, anybody can explode, anybody can react. But it takes maturity to remain calm when your emotions are demanding expression. The greatest leaders are not those who speak the loudest. They are the ones who know when not to speak. When someone insults you, silence often becomes the highest form of confidence. Because confident people do not feel the need to fight for approval. When a barking dog sees a lion, the lion does not bark back. The lion walks with awareness of its identity. Another situation where you must remain silent is when people gossip in front of you. Never join conversations that destroy absent people. A person who enjoys gossip is revealing a small mind. You must protect your spirit from negative conversations because what enters your ears eventually enters your heart. Sometimes people will invite you into discussions that have nothing to do with purpose, growth, or wisdom. They want entertainment, drama, confusion, and division. Stay silent. Not every conversation deserves your participation. Your destiny is too expensive to waste on meaningless talk. You must also stay silent when you do good for others. One of the signs of true maturity is learning how to help people without announcing it to the world. Never become addicted to recognition. The moment you need applause for every good deed, your character becomes dependent on human approval. There are people who give, then immediately tell everybody what they did. That is not generosity. That is performance. Real greatness is silent. Real impact does not need constant advertisement. A tree does not announce its fruit. People discover it naturally. Another dangerous moment to speak too much is when you are building your next move. Stop telling everybody your plans. Stop revealing your vision to people who have not earned access to your dreams. Not everyone celebrating with you is happy for you. Some people clap with their hands while competing with you in their hearts. Protect your ideas while they are growing. A seed buried underground remains silent while developing roots. If you expose it too early, it can die before becoming strong. There are dreams that fail because they were announced before they were built. Silence creates focus. Silence creates strategy. Silence creates strength. You must also remain silent when somebody is determined to misunderstand you. This is one of the hardest lessons in life. Not everybody wants clarity. Some people have already decided who they think you are. No amount of explanation will change their minds. Do not waste years trying to convince people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Your assignment is not to control opinions. Your assignment is to protect your peace. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. Even Jesus remained silent before certain accusations because wisdom understands something powerful. Truth does not panic. When you know who you are, you stop feeling pressure to defend yourself against every rumor, every criticism, and every attack. Another moment for silence is after success. When life begins to elevate you, stay humble and quiet. Success can become dangerous when it produces pride. Some people achieve a little progress and suddenly begin speaking as though they know everything. Stay grounded. Stay teachable. Stay humble enough to listen. Noise often increases when insecurity increases. Truly successful people do not need to constantly remind others of their achievements. Their results speak for them. Silence also matters during moments of deep pain. Not every wound should be explained publicly. Learn the difference between seeking wisdom and seeking attention. Some battles need prayer more than public discussion. There are people sharing every detail of their struggles with everybody around them, hoping the world will heal their pain. But not everybody listening cares about your healing. Some are simply collecting information. Protect your vulnerable moments. Heal privately when necessary. Grow quietly. Recovery does not always need an audience. You must also stay silent in moments where listening is more important than speaking. One of the greatest skills you can develop is the ability to truly listen. Most people do not listen to understand. They listen to reply. That is why communication is broken in many relationships. A wise person listens carefully because every human being carries knowledge, experience, and lessons. If you speak all the time, you cannot learn. Silence creates room for understanding. Finally, stay silent when God is working on you. There are seasons where your life will not make sense to people. Seasons where doors close. Seasons where everything becomes uncomfortable. Do not complain constantly. Do not panic publicly. Trust the process quietly. An eagle experiences isolation before it reaches greater heights. Growth often requires silence. Transformation often happens in hidden places. You do not need to announce every struggle. You do not need to prove your journey to everybody. Sometimes heaven is developing your character in private before revealing your purpose in public. Remember this, silence is not emptiness. Silence is power under control. Silence is wisdom refusing to argue with foolishness. Silence is maturity protecting peace. Silence is confidence that no longer needs constant validation. The older you become, the more you realize that life improves when unnecessary words decrease. Speak with purpose. Speak with wisdom. Speak with timing. And when wisdom tells you to remain silent, obey it. Because some battles are won with words, but the greatest battles are won with self-control. When you are angry, that is the moment you must speak the least. Anger is one of the most dangerous emotions because it gives temporary power while destroying permanent relationships. In moments of anger, people often say things they never truly mean, but once words are released, they cannot be taken back. A broken plate may be repaired, but the crack always remains visible. In the same way, harsh words leave invisible scars on the hearts of people. One of the greatest signs of maturity is emotional control. Anybody can react. Anybody can shout. Anybody can lose control. But wisdom is revealed in the person who remains calm when emotions are demanding expression. You must understand that your emotions are real, but they should never become your master. A person ruled by anger becomes a prisoner of their own feelings. Many people destroy opportunities because they could not control one emotional moment. A job is lost because of one angry response. A friendship ends because of one disrespectful sentence. A marriage becomes damaged because pride refused to stay silent. The tragedy is that most people regret their words only after the damage has already been done. Silence during anger is not weakness. It is strength under control. A powerful person is not someone who can overpower others physically. A powerful person is someone who can overpower their own emotions mentally. That takes discipline. That takes wisdom. That takes character. There are moments in life where people will provoke you intentionally. Some people know exactly which buttons to press. They want a reaction from you because reactions give them control over your emotions. The moment they can control your emotions, they can influence your decisions. This is why silence becomes your protection. Never allow temporary emotions to make permanent decisions. When anger rises, wisdom decreases. Your judgment becomes clouded. You begin speaking from pain instead of purpose. That is why wise people step away before they respond. They understand that calmness produces clarity. Sometimes the best response is to say nothing at all. Not every insult deserves your attention. Not every accusation deserves your defense. There are battles that become bigger simply because you participated in them. Silence often ends conflicts faster than arguments. You must train yourself to pause before speaking. Even a few seconds of silence can save you from years of regret. Learn to breathe. Learn to walk away. Learn to calm your spirit before opening your mouth. Self-control is one of the greatest investments you can make in your future. Remember this, people may forget your achievements, but they rarely forget how your words made them feel. One angry moment can erase years of trust. That is why emotionally mature people do not speak carelessly. They understand the value of words. A wise person knows that staying silent during anger is not losing the battle. It is winning the battle within yourself. And the person who conquers themselves becomes unstoppable in life. Negative conversations are dangerous because they slowly shape the way you think, speak, and see people. That is why you must learn to stay silent around gossip and unnecessary drama. Every conversation you entertain is feeding something within you. It is either feeding wisdom or feeding negativity. There is no middle ground. Many people do not realize that gossip is more than just talking about others. Gossip is a habit that weakens character. It trains the mind to focus on people instead of purpose. People who constantly discuss the failures, mistakes, and private lives of others usually have little direction in their own lives. A focused person does not have time to destroy somebody else's reputation. You must understand that words carry spiritual and emotional energy. When you sit in environments filled with jealousy, criticism, and negativity, that atmosphere eventually affects your mindset. If you listen to toxic conversations long enough, you may begin thinking like the people speaking. That is why wise people protect their ears carefully. Not every discussion deserves your participation. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is remain quiet and remove yourself from the conversation. Silence in the middle of gossip shows maturity. It reveals that your mind is focused on higher things. You do not need to attack people or create conflict. Your silence alone can communicate wisdom. There are people who feel important only when they are discussing someone else's problems. They build friendships around drama, but relationships built on gossip will eventually collapse because the same people speaking about others today will speak about you tomorrow. Never trust a person who enjoys exposing everyone around them. A disciplined mind refuses to celebrate negativity. Instead of tearing people down, learn to speak life, encouragement, and wisdom. Great people inspire others. Small-minded people criticize others. The difference is character. You must also be careful because gossip wastes valuable time and energy. Every hour spent discussing meaningless drama is an hour not invested in growth, purpose, or improvement. Successful people focus on building. Distracted people focus on rumors. Sometimes silence protects your peace more than words ever could. You do not need to prove yourself in every conversation. You do not need to add your opinion to every discussion. Learn the power of quiet wisdom. Remember this: the environment around you influences the future within you. Protect your mind from negativity. Protect your spirit from unnecessary conversations. And protect your destiny by refusing to entertain gossip, because what you constantly listen to eventually becomes part of who you are. One of the greatest signs of true character is the ability to do good without needing recognition from people. In a world where many individuals announce every act of kindness for attention, wisdom teaches us to remain silent about the good we do. Real generosity does not need an audience. Real kindness does not need applause. Many people help others only when cameras are watching, when social media is active, or when praise is guaranteed. But when your actions are driven by recognition, the reward becomes temporary. The danger of constantly announcing your good deeds is that you slowly become addicted to validation. You begin to measure your value by the approval of people instead of the condition of your heart. A mature person understands that purpose is more important than praise. You should never allow your ego to control your generosity. Some people give once and spend years talking about it. They remind others of every favor, every sacrifice, and every contribution. But true kindness does not keep records to gain power over people later. When you constantly announce your good deeds, you can unintentionally embarrass the people you helped. Not everyone wants their struggles exposed publicly. Sometimes the greatest form of respect is helping somebody while protecting their dignity at the same time. Silence in your generosity also protects your spirit from pride. Pride is dangerous because it quietly changes your motives. It can make you believe you are superior to others simply because you help them. But wisdom teaches humility. Everything you have, the strength, resources, knowledge, and opportunity to help others, is itself a blessing. Therefore, kindness should come from gratitude, not superiority. A tree does not make noise to announce its fruit. People discover the fruit naturally. In the same way, your life should speak louder than your words. Let your actions reveal your character without constant explanation. The most impactful people are often the quietest about what they do for others. There is also power in helping people secretly because it trains your heart to serve without expecting anything in return. That kind of discipline builds integrity. It develops compassion that is genuine rather than performative. Remember this: not every good thing you do needs to be announced. Sometimes the most meaningful acts happen in silence. Help people because it is right, not because it is visible. Encourage others because it reflects your character, not because it increases your reputation. Real greatness is humble, and humble people understand that the loudest proof of kindness is not words, it is consistent action. One of the biggest mistakes people make is talking too much about their plans before they have built them. There is a difference between having a vision and announcing every detail of that vision to the world. Wisdom teaches you to protect your dreams while they are still developing. Not everybody needs access to your next move. Many people become excited about an idea and immediately begin telling everyone around them. They talk more about the dream than they work on the dream. The problem is that speaking too early can drain the energy needed to actually build it. Sometimes people feel satisfied simply because they talked about success, even though no real progress has been made. A seed grows best underground in silence before anyone sees the fruit. In the same way, your goals need time, discipline, and focus before public attention. If you expose your vision too early, you also expose it to unnecessary opinions, doubts, jealousy, and negativity. Some people will discourage you not because your dream is impossible, but because they cannot see what you see. You must understand that not everyone clapping for you is truly supporting you. Some people celebrate your ideas publicly while secretly hoping you fail privately. This is why mature people move carefully. They allow results to speak louder than announcements. Silence creates concentration. When you stop explaining yourself to everyone, you gain more energy to actually work. Truly successful people spend less time talking and more time building. They understand that discipline is stronger than excitement. There are also moments where constant talking creates pressure. The more people you tell, the more pressure you feel to prove something before it's time. Sometimes dreams collapse because they were forced to grow in public before becoming strong in private. Protecting your vision is not secrecy born from fear. It is wisdom born from understanding. Another reason to remain silent about your plans is because life changes. Sometimes your direction will shift as you grow. If you announce every step too early, you may feel trapped by people's expectations instead of being guided by purpose. Silence gives you room to develop without unnecessary noise. Remember this, your future does not need constant advertisement. Focus on the work. Focus on the process. Focus on becoming disciplined enough to turn vision into reality. Let people see the results after the building is complete. The strongest moves are often made quietly. A lion does not announce its attack before it moves. In the same way, powerful people allow their actions, achievements, and consistency to speak for them. Silence during preparation is not weakness, it is strategy. One of the most difficult lessons in life is realizing that some people are committed to misunderstanding you. No matter how clearly you explain yourself, no matter how honest your intentions are, they have already created a version of you in their mind. And if you are not careful, you can waste years of your life trying to change opinions that were never based on truth in the first place. This is why wisdom teaches you to remain silent when people are determined to misunderstand you. Not every accusation deserves a response. Not every rumor deserves your energy. Sometimes silence is the greatest form of confidence because it shows that your peace is more valuable than endless arguments. Many people become emotionally exhausted because they spend too much time defending themselves. They try to explain every decision, every action, and every misunderstanding to everyone around them. But mature people understand something powerful. You cannot force people to see what they refuse to see. There are individuals who do not want clarity. They want conflict. They enjoy confusion because it gives them something to criticize. If you continue arguing with such people, you will eventually lose your peace while gaining nothing in return. Some battles are designed to distract you from your purpose. A wise person learns the difference between constructive correction and pointless criticism. Correction helps you grow. Criticism without understanding only drains your spirit. You must stop giving your emotional energy to people who have already decided to judge you unfairly. Even great leaders throughout history faced misunderstanding. People criticized them, doubted them, and questioned their motives. Yet many of them succeeded because they focused on purpose instead of constantly defending their reputation. They understood that time reveals truth better than arguments ever can. Silence does not mean weakness. Silence means you trust that your character will speak louder than false opinions. When your life is built on integrity, you do not need to panic over every misunderstanding. Truth has a way of revealing itself over time. There is also strength in accepting that not everyone will like you, support you, or understand your journey. The moment you stop seeking validation from everybody, you become emotionally free. Your confidence no longer depends on public approval. Remember this, people who misunderstand you do not control your destiny. Do not lose your focus trying to win every argument. Protect your energy. Protect your peace. Continue growing, continue improving, and let your actions speak for you. Sometimes the strongest response is silence, because silence refuses to give unnecessary drama the attention it is demanding. Success is a beautiful thing, but it can also become dangerous if it changes your character. One of the moments you must learn to stay silent is after achievement and success. Many people work hard to reach a higher level in life, but once they arrive, they begin to speak with pride instead of wisdom. They start believing that success makes them superior to others, and slowly, arrogance replaces humility. True success does not need constant announcement. A mature person allows results to speak for themselves. There are people who achieve a small victory and suddenly feel the need to remind everyone of their accomplishments. They constantly talk about their money, their influence, their status, or their achievements. But loud success often reveals hidden insecurity. Truly confident people do not need to prove their worth every day. Silence after success protects you from pride. Pride is dangerous because it blinds people. It makes them forget the struggles that shape them. It makes them look down on others who are still fighting battles they once faced themselves. The moment pride enters your heart, growth begins to slow down because pride convinces you that you already know everything. Wise people remain humble even when life elevates them. They continue learning, listening, and growing. They understand that success is not permanent unless character is strong enough to sustain it. Many people reach the top quickly but fall just as fast because success changed their attitude. Another reason to stay silent after success is because not everyone celebrating you is genuinely happy for you. Success attracts attention, but it also attracts jealousy. Some people smile in front of you while competing with you in their hearts. This is why wisdom teaches you to move quietly and stay grounded. A tree carrying the most fruit bends lower, not higher. In the same way, the more successful you become, the more humble you should become. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is remembering that your success is not a reason to disrespect others. You must also remember that success is a responsibility. The purpose of elevation is not only personal comfort, but also influence and impact. When you stay humble, people feel inspired by your journey. But when pride controls you, people begin to feel distant from you. Remember this: achievement should increase gratitude, not arrogance. Stay teachable. Stay disciplined. Stay respectful. Continue working quietly even after success arrives. Because the people who last the longest in life are not always the loudest people. They are the people wise enough to remain grounded while everyone else is losing themselves in pride. There are moments in life when pain becomes so heavy that you feel the need to tell everyone what you are going through. Hurt has a way of searching for attention because the human heart naturally desires comfort and understanding. But wisdom teaches that not every painful season should be exposed publicly. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is remain silent while you heal. Many people share their deepest wounds with everyone around them, hoping that constant discussion will remove the pain. But not everybody listening truly cares about your healing. Some people are curious, some are entertained by your struggles, and others may even use your vulnerable moments against you later. This is why emotional maturity requires discernment. Silence during pain is not pretending everything is perfect. It is protecting your spirit while you recover. A wound heals faster when it is protected. In the same way, your heart often heals better when every detail is not constantly exposed to public opinion. There is a difference between seeking wise counsel and seeking attention. Wise counsel brings direction, healing, and support. Attention only creates temporary emotional relief while keeping you emotionally dependent on outside validation. Mature people learn how to pray, reflect, and grow through difficult seasons without making their suffering a daily public performance. Some of the strongest people you will ever meet are individuals who fought private battles nobody knew about. They carried pain with dignity while continuing to move forward. That kind of strength builds character. It develops emotional discipline and inner peace. You must also understand that pain can distort your emotions. During difficult moments, you may say things you later regret. You may expose personal matters that should have remained private. This is why silence can become a shield during emotional seasons. It gives you time to think clearly before speaking emotionally. Healing often happens quietly. Just like a seed grows underground before anyone sees the result, personal growth usually happens in hidden places. The world celebrates visible success, but true transformation often takes place in silence, tears, prayer, and reflection. Another reason to stay silent during pain is because your identity should never become attached to your suffering. Some people speak about their problems so often that pain becomes their entire personality. but you are not created to live permanently defined by hardship. Remember this: every season of pain carries lessons, growth, and transformation. Protect your peace while you heal. Speak wisely, not emotionally. Share your struggles with trustworthy people, not with everybody around you. And understand that silence during difficult seasons is not weakness. It is often the place where strength is being developed the most. One of the rarest qualities in today's world is the ability to truly listen. Most people are not listening to understand, they are listening to respond. While another person is speaking, they are already preparing their next sentence instead of absorbing the message being shared. This is why so many conversations create confusion instead of connection. Wisdom teaches that there are moments where silence is far more valuable than speaking. When listening is more important than speaking, silence becomes a sign of intelligence and maturity. A wise person understands that every individual carries experiences, lessons, and knowledge that can teach something valuable. But if you are always talking, you can never fully learn. Continuous speaking often closes the door to growth. Many people believe that talking more makes them appear smarter or more powerful. In reality, constant talking can reveal insecurity. Truly confident people are comfortable enough to remain quiet and observe. They know that understanding people is more valuable than impressing people. Silence also helps you develop discernment. When you listen carefully, you begin noticing things others miss. You hear not only words, but emotions, intentions, and character. Great leaders, successful business people, and wise mentors all understand the importance of listening before making decisions. They gather understanding before giving direction. In relationships, listening is one of the highest forms of respect. People feel valued when they know they are being heard. Sometimes a person does not need advice immediately. They simply need someone present enough to listen sincerely. Interrupting constantly or always turning conversations back to yourself can damage trust and connection. Another reason silence matters during listening is because it prevents unnecessary mistakes. Many people answer questions before fully understanding the situation. They react too quickly because they are more focused on expressing opinions than gaining clarity. But wisdom pauses first. Wisdom listens carefully before speaking carefully. You must also learn that silence creates emotional control. When you listen more, you react less impulsively. You give yourself time to think before responding. This protects you from speaking emotionally, carelessly, or ignorantly. Some of the greatest opportunities in life come from listening. A mentor may share life-changing wisdom. A friend may reveal hidden pain. A business opportunity may appear in a simple conversation. But distracted and noisy minds often miss important moments because they are too busy trying to be heard. Remember this: speaking may reveal what you know, but listening reveals how much you are willing to grow. Silence during moments of listening is not passivity, it is wisdom in action. The more you learn to listen deeply, the more understanding, peace, and maturity will enter your life.